Entrepreneur, the series for entrepreneurs in Japan. Listen, learn, and apply the experiences of others to your entrepreneurial pursuits. Join us. Hello and welcome to another episode of Entrepreneur, Entrepreneurs in Japan. Today, it is my great pleasure to welcome our guest, Shibasaki Yohei, the CEO and founder of Fourth Valley Concierge. Good morning.
Good morning,
So, just to give everybody a sense of what we do here at Entrepreneur, so at the very beginning, we're going to have a discussion with our guest, Shibasaki-san. And we always focus on the different stages of being an entrepreneur and being entrepreneurial. So stage one, making that decision to start up a business venture in Japan. Followed by stage two, which is getting started, initially running your business. Stage three, scaling, optimizing, growing a business. And stage four, maybe even deciding when to leave your business. Now, of course, not all of our guests are able to speak about each of these stages, so we'll focus the conversation on topics that are relevant to our guests. But for the very first, maybe 30 minutes, 40 minutes or so, I will have a discussion with our guest. And as I'm doing so, feel free to write some comments in the chat box. I'll try to incorporate them into the discussion. Then we'll have we'll probably do this. We'll have a breakout session, depending upon how many people are with us at that point. And the point of the breakout session is for you to reflect upon what our guests have said and to consider how you might be able to incorporate some of their experiences into your experiences. How can you apply their experiences to yours? And then we'll bring everything to a close with a Q&A session. Also, let me just point out now, we have this survey. Maybe let me request this. If you have a cell phone, just read the QR code right now. And if you need to drop off before the end of this session, then you have the survey ready to answer from your cell phone. Otherwise, I'll put the URL into the chat box a little bit later. Okay. All right. So let's get started with our session today with Mr. Shibasaki Yohei. So who is Shibasaki-san? Shibasaki-san is a passionate person. He's passionate about shaping a future for Japan as a country that creates value for the world through close partnerships and collaboration with diverse people. He's a graduate of Sophia University and started his career in Sony, where he felt the inspiration for becoming entrepreneurial. He has been working at the intersection of public affairs and private business as a participant in the World Economic Forum in Davos. And he's taken on the role of committee member of the Foreign Workers Employment Policy Survey Project, administered by the Ministry of Health, Labor, and Welfare of Japan. In addition, he has been a speaker at the Judicial System Investigation Committee of the Liberal Democratic Party Administrative Investigation Committee. That's a mouthful, but he has a lot of business and government related experience. And as the CEO of a company called Fourth Valley Concierge Corporation, he is supporting Japanese industry by seeking out foreign national talent for hire at Japanese companies and throughout the world. Shibasaki-san, thank you for being our guest today and welcome. Good morning once again.
Good morning and thank you, Brian.
So my opening question to you, and the first question I'd like to ask every guest is this: why are you entrepreneurial? Why are you an entrepreneur in Japan?
Yeah, first of all, thank you for inviting me to this forum, media. I'm so glad to be able to be here and talk with you.
Thank you.
So to answer to your question, it's very simple because life is only once. ね、人生一回きりだから。Why don't we ね、challenge?
Okay.
But I don't think like starting new like enterprise company is the only challenge. But for myself, it was like most important, kind of largest, most important challenge. Yeah. So working in Sony for 10 years, it was a like amazing experience for me. And Sony was a company I wanted to like work for. Yeah, it was a like top, the first ranking company that I wanted.
Yeah.
So it was a miracle that I could get an offer from Sony when I was a
Okay.
student. Yeah, even though I didn't study like at all in the university, I was only playing like American football.
Okay.
So that's a unique like aspect of Japanese shukatsu and
Right.
job hunting for the students. But anyway, I was so lucky to be able to work in Sony. I still love Sony. That's the greatest company for me. I appreciate Sony, and Sony is one of the biggest client for me. So, Sony trained me. Sony made me as like entrepreneur. Yeah.
Mhm.
It was a company like whose atmosphere was like full of entrepreneurship. Yeah. So everyone was thinking to create a new product or service that doesn't exist in the world at this moment. So it's true. Yeah. So when someone, I was in the sales division, marketing division, and finally in the business product planning, business planning section. But if you like propose a new product that already exists in the world, people never show you any interest because it doesn't create a new value. So 10 years I was in Sony, who trained me, who gave me a kind of DNA of entrepreneurship.
So explain a little bit more about that then. So you've got this DNA for being an entrepreneur. And of course, you probably could have pursued a career within Sony doing kigyo nai kigyo, right? But you decided to leave. Tell us a little bit about that decision-making process you went through. What did you do? What were you thinking that really pushed you to leave Sony and to start the company that you have been managing for the past decade?
Okay, thank you. Main 5 years from 25 to 30 years old in Sony, I was involved in a like camera module, the business planning or product planning of camera module. The camera inside iPhone or your mobile phone is, it used to be like this.
Yep.
Yeah. In a phone. So the camera phone was like very large 15 years ago, but now it's smaller than my
Sure.
Yeah. So I was involved in this like mobile phone market and like camera market. Yeah. And I could meet like lots of overseas like top companies, Nokia, Motorola, Samsung, LG, and also I had a lot of partner company the device industry like TSMC in Taiwan or even LG, Samsung or others. So I had an amazing like experience to work with the companies all over the world.
Okay.
Most of them were the top companies in each. In that 5 years, I could learn a lot. And it was really exciting that I was traveling all over the world, having a meeting with the top guys in each country, top companies. But always, even though I got a big business, I got a big deal from the clients, I was always feeling that's a product service that the super engineers established, like created.
Okay.
I was in the marketing side, so all the important points were decided or created by the engineers. And they
Okay.
were really, really like smart.
So you wanted to do something that you felt more in control of, or you were able to sort of really, sink your teeth into and really know,
Yeah,
right? Okay. All
I
right.
wanted to create something by myself.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that idea of you wanting to create something by yourself and starting from a zero base,
Yes,
is
that's
what
right.
really drove you to leave a good company such as Sony to start your first company, which is the same company you've been managing now for many years, Fourth Valley Concierge. So tell us a little bit about what Fourth Valley Concierge does and maybe some of your initial, inspiration for starting this particular company.
Sure. As I mentioned, I was luckily I could like work with like global companies, the top companies in the world. Yeah. So through that experience, I was always like surprised or to see the like talent level of each company or each country. Yeah. As I mentioned, I really didn't study at all. Yeah, maybe like 4 minutes in 4 years.
In college.
4 minutes in 4 years.
But you got into a good college, a relatively good college,
Yeah.
Sophia, so all right. So you did some work before college, but college time was a football time for you, eh?
Yeah. Mentally, physically, I was trained very strictly.
Okay.
But anyway, I had no skill for business.
Mm-hmm.
So, but right after joining Sony, I had a meeting like globally, but no skill, no specialty. But the guys in front of me had a like really high level of talents. Their presentation level, their material level. I was always like surprised to see that. Yeah. So, kind of 一生99 high.
Mm-hmm.
All the like meeting, they were like much like excellent than me.
Okay. So you
But
wanted to do something with talent then.
yes, and
Okay.
but every week coming back from abroad to Japan, Japanese headquarters,
Mm-hmm.
there was only Japanese people in the floor, big floor.
Yeah.
So I was always feeling strange. Yeah, there were like lots of talents was much smarter than me in the world. Yeah, but why we are making decision here in Tokyo in this meeting room with my boss, only by Japanese people.
Right. Right.
So
Okay.
I always was feeling there's a like possibility of like a business as well,
Mm-hmm.
bringing talents cross borderly. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's one of my reason that I really decided to like be an entrepreneur. But beyond that, yeah, um, Sony DNA made me push me, yeah, to start something new. But
Okay.
what we do now is
Yeah.
so bringing talents from abroad to Japan. Yeah, but of course, as I'm a Sony guy, I don't want to just like bring talents to Japan. I don't want to create only Japanese market. I don't want to just contribute to Japanese companies here. So our challenge from the beginning is to make a job platform that anyone in the world can find the job globally from Earth, not only in their own country. So that's our challenge. We would like to create a new culture or new like era that people can easily find job from the world.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And give us a sense currently then, how's the business going? Where are you at in the business right now?
Sure. I started up this Force Valley. This is it. On 2007. So
2007.
already
Yep.
14th year.
Yep.
So and 2018, 3 years ago, our sales amount reached 1 billion yen.
1 billion yen.
Yeah,
Okay.
10億円。
So that's 10 million US dollars,
That's right.
right? Okay. All right.
But that's never enough for me. Yeah.
Mm.
I'm not just talking about like sales amount, but the sales amount means the impact,
Mhm.
right? So my like target the sales amount was 100 times larger,
Okay.
right? So I'm never satisfied or まあ、むしろ自分自身にまあ disappointed,
Mhm.
frankly speaking.
Yep.
Yeah. But I'm never negative. Yeah.
Mhm.
So frankly speaking, disappointed but positive.
Okay.
だからソニー作ろうよ。
So I want to dig down into that sort of disappointment. But we have one question that came in. This is now, let's go back to a fundamental. Why is it called Fourth Valley Concierge? What does Fourth Valley mean?
Yeah.
Yotsuya?
I always replied that there's a Silicon Valley in Shibuya, and we'll create another one. So forth.
Uh-huh.
But to tell the truth, yes, I had no idea to fix my company's name.
Yeah.
Then I decided to have our company location here in Yotsuya.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Reason is very simple. I'm not really Sophian. 僕は上智大学が大好きなわけではない。
Okay.
Everyone
You're
thinks
close
like
to it. But yeah, but you're close.
Yeah. But
Yes.
my American football teams, juniors, 後輩たち
Mm-hmm.
is 練習 doing the practice there.
Okay.
Right,
You wanna be close
next
to your
to
football.
the ground is next to the like campus.
Okay. All
And
right.
then, so I wanted to commute to the company every morning,
Yeah.
looking at them, feeling them,
Yeah.
and like 自分に問いかける, ask
Mhm.
myself,
Yeah.
my TI guts stronger than them? Yeah. They are just a kind of club activity.
Right.
But
Okay.
I'm betting my life.
Yeah.
私の気合が彼らに負けちゃいけない。So いつも I wanted to feel their guts every day. That's
Understood.
why I decided to have a location here.
Okay. So Shibazaki-san, let's really now focus on something. You just made a comment, which I think if most people hear, you started a company, right, in 2007 from nothing.
Yeah.
And you have built it to the point where you can make, 10 million US dollars a year. Now that's pretty impressive. So I understand you're saying that there's a bit of disappointment, but let's talk in two parts. First, to get to that point where you have been able to create a going concern that generates that amount of revenue, okay? What have you done well? What can we learn from you in terms of what you've done well to build it to that point? Then let's talk about why you're still disappointed in the future. But first, help us understand what it took to get to that point.
Okay. So when I first decided to be an entrepreneur and start a new company, I had plenty of business plan. Seriously, more than 10, like light plan, more than 100. Because every weekend in Roppongi, Academy Hills, kind of library, I was writing a business model every weekend. But how is this? How is this? How is this? But finally, I fixed to this market, like global cross-border recruiting.
Okay, so cross-border recruiting, bringing talent to Japan, sometimes helping talent from Japan find work outside, and now also doing talent search for non-Japanese companies and focusing on other markets as well, right?
Because no one was doing that.
Okay.
It's like a Jinzai Gyokai, the HR industry is huge in Japan.
Yeah.
Huge. 1兆円以上. But
$1 billion US.
sure, yeah, but still the same. But even 13 years ago, there was no HR company who was like mainly actively
Mhm.
like doing this like cross-border recruiting.
Okay.
So the major giant Japanese HR companies, they most of them have like subsidiary, like overseas subsidiary. But what they were doing was doing a local business in each country, and their main client was Japanese overseas company.
Yep.
So why don't do this cross-border recruiting? I was so surprised, but that field I felt like a big potential.
Hmm.
And when I decided to be entrepreneur, there was one commitment to myself, right? So I decided not to do anything that Sony was doing or planning.
Okay. All right. So you wanted to do something different. That's clear.
Sure, sure.
Actually, you know what? Let me also, Shibazaki-san, I'll mention to everybody listening, the very reason that we know each other goes back to my work prior to starting my current company, which I've been doing for 11 years. Before Gramercy Engagement Group, when I was working in the headquarters of, fast retailing, Uniqlo was doing a lot of global expansion. And we wanted to hire non-Japanese people from overseas to come work in Japan, which still was quite unique as a corporate need at that time. But it was your company that helped us do that. And so together, I remember you and we went to Taiwan and we went to Singapore, right? And in Taiwan, I was the one doing the company information session, and we wanted to talk to a few Taiwanese students. Well, you helped to create such a buzz that when we showed up one night for the information session, we had such an overflow. We had about 500 students that were interested in listening to what we wanted to say when we expected probably about 100. And so you really helped us open up, to the talent market in Taiwan. And then later in Singapore, when we went to a job fair, you helped us sort of organize all of that. And I was the one standing there talking about working at Uniqlo, but you helped with all that infrastructure development. And since then, we've been, partners, colleagues, and a friend. So that's the impact that you had at that time, and help everybody understand too.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, the Taiwan, Singapore, both seminar was held in the top #1 university, Taiwan
Yeah.
University, Singapore University.
Yeah.
It's US National University of Singapore. But
Yeah. Yeah.
people.
But Shibazaki-san, let me now push the question again.
Yeah.
This is really what all of us want to learn. Okay. I know that at that time we didn't pay you $10 million. So you've definitely developed a larger, business around something. So tell us more. How did you get to the point where you started from zero and were able to build a company? What are some of those factors of success that you look back upon to say, this is what helped me?
Okay. My strength is marketing. Honestly speaking, I never feel I'm a good CEO or good entrepreneur yet. I will be in the future.
Okay.
But so I have lots of weak point, but the very limited number of strengths. If I mention it, one is like I'm very strong at numbers, marketing. 定量的な分析、数字。
Yep. Sales analysis and all. Okay.
Yeah, that's my kind of only strengths. And,
Okay.
But it's a very easy kind of calculation marketing. So,
Okay.
Number of births in Japan, as everybody knows, my generation, we had more than 2 million babies, 2.1 million. But this year, it will be less than 700,000.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not half, 1/3.
Right.
It's only Japan this is happening. Next, Korea and China, but anyway, at this moment, only Japan. So, but it was obvious. It was a fact that number of births will decrease, the population will decrease. Then, how Japanese company can survive without accepting
Mm.
talents from abroad.
Yep.
And 15 years ago, like AI robots, not like now.
Mhm.
So I felt it's obvious that the global recruiting market will expand.
Mhm.
And what we did is just knocked all the like top companies to like tell them the merit of recruiting talents globally. Yeah.
Mm.
So very easy like approach.
Mhm.
Do you want only Japanese people here, or do you want like global talents here?
So let's focus on that too. What do you think that you did to open up? And these are large companies you're working with. I mean, you're working with, the top very large brand names in Japan. What did you do to get into these companies? Help, because a lot of people that are, watching this too, they want to work more with Japanese corporates and they sometimes hit a wall. What do you think was that success factor?
ちょっと泥臭いけど、泥臭いって英語でなんて言うんですか？
Tell me a little bit more and we'll find a good translation for it in a moment. Yeah.
It's
What do you want to say?
yeah, but I love it. ね、
Yeah.
泥臭いけど、ね、so I had lots of like friends
Yeah.
in each top companies. My American football colleagues, the
Mhm.
one in Mitsubishi Shoji, Mitsui
Yeah.
Bussan,
Yeah.
Itochu,
Yeah.
and also I had Shakaijin friends.
Yeah.
They kindly first, like introduced me to the HR guys.
Mhm.
That was
Okay. So you're
very
using your
important.
network. That's
Sure,
that's a very clear point. Using your professional
sure.
network from college too.
That's very important. Yeah, because HR guys are most conservative people,
Yep.
as everybody knows.
Yep.
So they don't easily meet like entrepreneurs if they cannot check all the backgrounds. But
Right.
if their colleagues, employees, like recommend the guy,
Mhm.
they like trust it fully.
Yep.
So I'm not kind of yakuza or
Right. Right. I mean,
very
I think anywhere we do business in the world, it is important that you trust the person, but
that's very important.
particularly in Japan. So, right, having somebody that trusts you introduce you to a decision maker is clearly an important, point of, a factor for success.
Sure. And once that I get like a contract, yes, business from one big company, then it's more easy to have the competitors or companies in the same field to make interest with
Mhm.
us.
Yeah.
But I appreciate Sony very strongly that they were the like first client.
Mhm.
And I still meet
Yeah.
my senior guy, Hiyoki-san in
Yeah.
Sony,
Yeah.
because I appreciate him a
Yeah.
lot. When I first went to meet him, right after I established my company, yeah, he told me that he can give me a business
や、
彼の決済権の中で
yep.
under
Okay.
his
Based upon the amount of budget that he has, or with given it his authority, right?
yeah
So, all right. So clearly he trusted you. So Shibazaki-san, let's kind of summarize this as a learning point here. Clearly, you got to work with people who trust you and who can introduce you to people that are trusted by them. You call this durokusai, which literally is kind of the bad smell of the earth. But it's in English, we might say unrefined or uncouth. Thanks, Roger. But that's actually a very important point, right? You're starting a business and you want to go into, you want to work with corporations. If they don't know your company, they know they know people that you know. Okay, so we understand that. That's how you get in. But once again, I'm going to want to push this question. Yes, and people can do that. People understand that, but they don't always make a company that can produce 10 million US dollars and still not be satisfied. Tell us a little bit more about that. How did you grow to this point? Was it hiring? Was it services? What are you looking at if you look back and say, yes, this is what I did, which led to this level of success so far? Help us understand that.
Sure. So my target was like 100 billion yen at this moment. So いつもこの話、そういう聞かれ方はしないから、
Okay.
You built 1 billion yen. ちょっと
Yeah.
そういうふうに考えたことがなくて、
Okay.
Why still 1 billion yen? That's the VC or ね、
Okay.
So, but 本当はいつもなぜたったの10億円なんだって考えてるから、思考が今日違うんだけど、
Yep.
How I built 1 billion, yeah, it's very simple. So Sony, Mitsui Bussan, Itochu first became my client. Then I thought that like top big companies is suitable for our service first. And their branding, for example, Sony or Panasonic was also my like one of the first clients. Their branding is very strong abroad. So it's a win-win.
Yep.
And they are interested in top students abroad.
Yep.
Top students abroad are interested in Japanese leading companies. So I focus on top companies.
All right. So that's clearly, I mean, talking about your client list, you know, those client lists have really helped you grow. What did you need to do internally in the company in order to build the capability to serve clients to that level?
Of course, increasing the numbers of sales or career consultant, but the first 2-3 years, and now, honestly speaking, the level of the employees like totally different.
Level meaning talent level, skill level, or
skill level. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
創業期に頑張ってくれたメンバーも泥臭いって本当に頑張った。Now more ね、ありがとうございます。But, トップ企業の相手をするには、これすごく気を使う。
Okay. So build scale. You're being careful. You're being calculated, maybe, in working with large corporations. In what way? What does that mean?
So, like the way how you call them, the emails, like sentence, 日本語力, everything, we have to be nervous. So, 炎上しないように.
Yep.
So, that was like challenge, but so from 4th year, 5th year, I started to hire like really high level, high skill talents. And that was very important for us. So, たくさん従業員を増やすというよりは、やっぱりハイクオリティな、人材を中心に増やしていった。
So I think what you're saying, what I'm understanding is, you're focusing on the professionalism that you're, showing to the clients. So large companies expect a certain level of professionalism and you need to deliver at that level. And it comes down to what kind of email are you writing and, the kind of communication you're having. And if you can match that expectation, then they're willing to work with you and they feel, you become more trustworthy.
Sure, but normally startup, it's difficult to hire high level talents, but we did it.
Okay. So what was your secret sauce there? How did a company that, was founded just a few years ago be able to hire such high level talent? What do you think is the success factor there?
First, our salary level is good.
Okay.
Yeah. and also our vision, mission, yeah, very differentiated.
Hmm.
So that two aspects very important, I believe.
Okay. All right.
We are really challenging to change the world. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like job hunting culture globally.
Hmm.
Lots of people そこに共感
Yeah. All right.
felt harmony with that.
Good. So Shibasaki-san, two more points of inquiry before we move to our next stage here. So within this business that you have been forging, you also individually have made some connections with Japanese government, right? And you've also gone to the World Economic Forum, in Davos. So help us just understand, how have you forged relations with Japanese government? And how does that impact, if at all, your business?
Okay, so thank you. First, I'm involved in lots of CEO network, yeah, like Rotary Club, YPO, World Economic Forum, yeah. So lots of CEOs have like political networks, yeah, in each field, and once they realize that I'm a specialist in kind of foreign labor market or immigration policy, they always invite me, yeah, if they feel that I had better be there to have a meeting with politicians, or if there's a big conference. So I was very positive. I aggressively attended that kind of kaigo meetings, or yeah, and also I frequently visited from our side. We contacted like METI, Keisansho, Ministry of Economy, Ministry of Monkasho, yeah, and Education, or Ministry of Labor, yeah, Korosho, to make a proposal, or to share the market analysis.
Yeah.
Yeah. Through that, we could build a strong relation network with ministries, or even prefectures and politicians as well.
So when you're saying, sharing that information with the government,
Sure.
so are you suggesting, one way to approach the government is to let them know that, of course, you have information that will be useful for them.
Sure.
And you're not trying to sell to the government necessarily, but you want to support government initiatives.
Sure.
But in doing that, they then get to know you, and you create this positive cycle.
Sure.
Okay.
Now Jiminto, the first party, always invite me to the session regarding foreign labors, foreign people. It's kind of branding.
Yeah.
Yeah. And another one, why my information marketing analysis to them is useful for them? It's very simple. I'm doing marketing analysis. Just I learned in Sony. But unfortunately, especially in this field, Japanese government, Japanese ministries or politicians, they don't do the global benchmark. They know well about Japanese market, or foreign labor's market in Japan.
Right.
But they don't know about the world.
Yeah.
Do you know how many people get H-1B visa in US, or Tier 2 visa in UK, 482 visa in Australia? They don't know at all. So they make a decision only by internal knowing internal market. But that's very dangerous. That's
dangerous. The word, as you were saying that's the word I was thinking. That's dangerous. So you're helping minimize the dangerous, decision making of the Japanese government.
Sure. And I explained them positively.
Yes.
We have more opportunities to accept better talents from anywhere in the world. Yeah.
All right. So Shibasaki-san, now let's focus on kind of going forward. So, you've made it very clear, you've developed your company to a certain level, especially, during this, COVID pandemic time. You've been able to sort of retain, your business, and probably we haven't discussed too much, but I imagine that you've also had to pivot and approach things in a new way. But you're still not satisfied. You're not satisfied with where you are. You're still kind of pushing yourself. So what is it that you really want to be achieving going forward? And what do you think you're going to do to get there?
Well, very simple. The impact. できれば社会的 social impact
Okay.
To the world. First, it can be in Japan, starting from Japan, but finally, globally.
Mm-hmm.
And anyone knows LinkedIn,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not a platform to recruit talents globally, cross-borderly. We can use it, but it's not for that.
Right.
So we would like to be the first platform for the people who wants to get a job abroad. And LinkedIn, blue collar worker don't register.
Right.
Our one of the main target is blue collar worker who are suffering from human rights issues
Right. Okay.
in the world. Yeah. So that's what we would like to achieve: social impact, global impact.
Mm-hmm.
And to achieve that, only one solution: internet.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a SaaS.
Sure.
So shifting from the real 人材紹介 service to SaaS business. This is the only and most important challenge.
Sure. Shibazaki-san, then one last question here. Being that you are a Japanese company and that you're Japan-based, for this world impact that you want to make, do you find this to be a strength? Is it a weakness, or is it not an issue because it doesn't matter where you come from, it matters where you're going?
Difficult question, but next 10 years, our main target candidates side, the main target will be whole Asia, and mainly Southeast Asia and South Asia, like India, or Bangladesh, or Nepal, and Indonesia. So our main business model will be from Asia to Japan or Western countries. Then, as many of the people knows, Southeast Asia, South Asia, there are lots of Shinnichikoku.
Countries that are kind of have good relations with Japan.
People as well. Then I believe they will feel comfortable, or anshin, relieved to register to our service. And next, company side, I'm not confident, but I believe Japanese headquarters, Japan-based company can get some kind of anshinkan. Trust.
Kind of trust, a sense of comfort with working with you.
I'm not sure yet because there's very few company who was successful in the internet market from down to global.
So once again, Shibazaki-san, thank you so much for joining us today as our guests on Entrepreneurponio. So through your words, I think we've really come to understand that some of the success factors for growing a company from 0 to an amount that you've already achieved in about a decade or so is, of course, to do good marketing, to have a really good professional network that you can rely upon, and to continually increase the professionalism of the people with whom you're working, and have, in your company. And of course, above all, I think what you're saying is not be too self-satisfied. You could pat yourself on the back and be happy that you've achieved what you have, but that drive to continually want to increase your impact into not feel completely satisfied is actually what is going to give you that satisfaction in the long run as an entrepreneur, as being entrepreneurial. So thank you so much for joining us today, and it's been a pleasure speaking with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Brian, and
Thank
everyone.
you.
ありがとうございました。
ありがとうございました。